Get out of the way, kid.
Black scrolls.
Right, so we need to go speak to Poplar, Devola. Whoever is up here, we need to speak to, basically. And they're going to send us to the forest, the Dream Forest. Which is absolutely fine. Who needs stairs?
What's up?
Oh, hi. I just got a strange letter in the mail.
That is certainly one bizarre piece of writing.
Who's it from?
The mayor of a small village in the Forest of Myth. It's a wooded area up north.
The Forest of Myth?
They're usually a bright and cheerful group of people. Something like this is very out of character for them. I have a bad feeling about this.
I'll check it out.
You will? But...
Don't worry about it. I've got business there anyway.
Oh, well, all right. Thank you.
Alright, let's go to the Forest of Myth. Since we have nothing more to do this side of the game except follow the main story now. So the Forest of Myth is over here. I could have checked the post box, I guess, as well. Nah, it's too late now. Okay. Why is it just a tree branch? Oh, hello. You know, one day I'd like to get a word that would increase our XP, please. That'd be really nice, game. Dun, 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 dun. Still love that this doesn't run at 60 FPS here.
It sure is quiet here.
Such silence bodes ill. There's trouble on the way. I'm certain of it.
You know, a little optimism now and then wouldn't hurt, Vice.
Such cheek.
Beware the words.
I love this little area.
The words? What do you mean?
Contagious words. Those who dream.
Those who dream?
Hold a moment. There is a strange new sensation in my mind.
Vice's voice rose in a quizzical way.
It is not quizzical.
What's going on?
The villager's body shuddered as he slowly opened his eyes.
Perhaps we should start by asking this man.
Who are you?
We heard something happened to this village, so we came to see if we could help.
The mayor stared at Fleur and Vice.
If you can speak to me, I must have caught you in my dream.
In your dream?
The mayor explained. In the past weeks, a mysterious disease called the Death Dream had spread across the Forest of Myth. Those who caught it were cursed to fall asleep and live forever within the world of their own dreams. The village mayor had determined the Death Dream was spread from person to person by spoken words, but before he could learn more, the disease took him as well. Vice stared at the mayor, his mouth twitching slightly.
Now see here.
He said,
Are you saying that we have been absorbed into your dream?
Well, yes.
said the mayor.
I think you have.
In other words,
Said Fleur.
we've caught the death dream?
Before the mayor could confirm Fleur's suspicion, Vice exploded with rage.
Ridiculous. Preposterous. Completely unfathomable on every conceivable level. I don't even recall falling asleep.
That's just how the death dream works.
Though polite, the mayor was clearly trying to brush aside the book's remarks.
My remarks are not to be brushed aside, fool.
The mayor twisted his mouth into an embarrassed grimace, then quickly changed the subject to who Fleur had seen, and what they had discussed since coming to the village.
Something there must have caused you to enter my dream.
Said the mayor.
A certain conversation, a specific word, something.
Fleur and Vice racked their brains but could find no easy solutions. There were simply too many words to consider, too much random chatter, too many meaningless conversations.
Grimoire Vice does not engage in meaningless conversations.
The mere suggestion that Vice chose his word carelessly seemed to sting his pride.
It does not seem to sting my pride, you bloated gasbag of a narrator. It has demolished it utterly.
Irritated, Vice looked skyward as if searching for answers in the heavens.
I was doing no such thing. Just leave me alone already.
The anger created by his harsh words bled over to Fleur like contagion. Wait, said Fleur suddenly. Did someone say contagion? Yes, I believe so. What of it? Well, that villager told us to watch out for contagious words, right? The mayor leaned forward with renewed interest, pushing a startled Vice aside in the process. He must have said something, right? Asked the mayor. Some specific combination of words? What was it? It was about dreaming, or something that dreams, or... Oh, what the hell was it? Sheep, cried Vice suddenly, blurting out the first thing that popped into his head. The others stared at him for a moment before slowly shaking their heads. After a few more minutes of thought, Fleur's face suddenly lit up. I remember he said, those who dream. That's what he said, I'm sure of it. At this, the mayor produced a thick sheaf of papers from his pocket. He flipped through them a few times before finally nodding his approval at Fleur. That sounds right, he said, as a stray sheet of paper fluttered to the ground. My notes also mentioned something about that. I bet it was the last thing you heard before you fell asleep. The mayor shook his head. His warm pencil stubs tracing the lines across a lone piece of paper. For the last month, I've done nothing but study the disease we call the death dream, he said. I mean, I'm the mayor, right? It's my job to protect the people from whatever comes along. But I never expected a couple of outsiders to start entering people's dreams. The mayor paused, a grimace crossing his face. I should probably be taking notes or something. Alex immediately fired back. I applaud the force of will it takes to research a disease in your dreams, he said. But perhaps we should bend your efforts to escaping the place instead of trying to understand it. The mayor's hand tightened around his pencil, snapping off the tip. I've tried to escape. From the very first moment I realized I was locked inside my own dream, I've been looking for a way out, but I don't think it exists. I mean, this is my dream, right? If there was an exit, I'd know about it. He paused for a moment, his unfocused eyes staring at nothing. My village was beautiful, he said, to no one in particular. It was filled with the most wonderful people you could ever hope to meet. But once this disease took hold, things changed. It's like someone took a sponge and sucked all the colour out of our lives. I just want us to be whole again. I just want us to be free. And I won't stop trying until it happens. Fleur nodded in agreement. Huh? Wait a second, I didn't nod. Look, if it can be of any help, said Fleur, just ask. Now hold on, I did not say that. Silence, cried Weiss. The Grimoire looked from Fleur to the mayor and back again, his face filling with confidence. Grimoire Weiss's face is always confident, thank you very much. Now see here, Mayor, you told us that nothing can exist in Dream without your knowing it. But yet you seemed surprised to see us when we first arrived, yes? Mayor slowly raised his head, realization dawning on his face. Oh my god, he said, you're right. You're right. I had no idea you were coming. Human imagination is a limitless engine, said Weiss. Dreams are the fuel. If you can imagine an exit, then it must be so. With your permission, we shall search it out. Thank you, said the mayor. I don't know how I can repay you. Payment is not required. We are as eager as you to be done with this place. The mayor suddenly felt as if he could breathe again. He'd almost forgotten what it was like. Good luck, you two, he called the departing forms of Fleur and Weiss. We're all counting on you. As Fleur suddenly faded into the misty forest, the mayor was struck by a sense of deja vu. I saw this man once before, he thought. Where? Fleur's mood darkened as he trudged through the forest. Hours earlier, when the beauty of the palace was still a new thing, he'd been confident they could get in, find the exit, and be home in time for dinner. Stoke me a clipper, I'll be back for breakfast. But the deeper they went, the more the forest closed in around him. The mist made it difficult to see more than a foot in any direction. Moss-covered rocks seemed determined to twist his ankle. More than once he'd been forced to steady himself on the rough bark of a tree. His hands now left small trails of blood on everything he touched. Additionally, Weiss was proving to be a spectacularly poor travelling companion. Unhindered by either terrain or physical effort, he spent most of the time urging Fleur to pick up the pace, and grumbling about their slow progress. Finally, after Weiss muttered something about legless turtles being more adept at navigating the environment, Fleur snapped. Okay, Weiss, cram it for a second, would you? You don't have to walk. Fleur leaned against a tree and tried to stretch the knots from his back. How can this stupid forest be so big, he muttered to himself. The moment the words stumbled from his mouth, a cacophony of insects sprang to life. Every imaginable form of buzz, click, and hiss roared out at a volume that rattled his teeth. Fleur slapped his hands over his ears and screamed to be heard. Weiss, what's going on? Fleur could see Weiss's mouth moving, but he might as well have been shouting in a tornado. The insects screamed, the forest howled, and then just as Fleur's ears seemed ready to tear from his head and go running for cover, the sound diminished. Hesitantly, he removed his hand from his left ear and listened to the creatures of the woods. Zree, 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 zree. Shak-ka-ka-ka. Chika-chika-chiki. Woo-woo-ma. Shik-shik-shik-shik-shik-shik-shik-shik seek. As the insect symphony dimmed another decibel, Fleur began to detect patterns in the sound. This isn't random, he thought. That's just not white noise. It's something else. The insects weren't calling out, they were asking a question. One with it is lacking, 2 with it is ideal, 3 with it is dangerous. What is it? Be my pages. Is this a riddle? I guess so. I mean, it feels sort of forced, but maybe the key is getting out of this place. And I'll leave it to you to answer. Okay. 1 with it is lacking, 2 with it is ideal, 3 with it is dangerous. It is going to be a secret. It's a secret. Secret. Tiny insect stopped hissing and began. The forest undergrowth parted out, flipping Fleur like a rippling wave, opening a new path. These forest arthropods are making a road for us, said Vice with glee. Pleased at passing the test, Fleur moved on with new intensity. The path offered his body relief from the undergrowth. It even gave him great cheer to his mind. As long as they were on a path, their journey had a purpose. I guess the forest has accepted us, huh? Said Fleur after a bit. Vice spun around to face his companion. Do not mistake the will of the forest for some happy pet you can suddenly befriend. You have no idea where this path leads. As Vice finished speaking, the pair turned the corner and found themselves facing a clear forest. Facing a clear forest spring, even, sorry. Smiling, Fleur picked up a small rock and sent it skipping across the surface of the water, so we're at a pool now. Good heavens, said Vice. His surprise was understandable. Each time the rock struck the surface of water, a musical note rang out. When the rock finally stopped moving and sank to the bottom of the spring, the ripples it left behind came together to form words, of course! I enter through the window, but break no glass. When night falls, I vanish. What am I? Moonlight. Oh, sunlight even, sorry. Moonlight, because it's not morning and night into morning. In all my years, said Vice softly, I'd never seen such a sight. Perhaps I've misunderstood the intentions of this place. Hey, look, cried Fleur, waking Vice from his daze. There's a house or something over there. Glancing in the direction of his friend's extended hand, Vice saw a small cottage nestled among the trees. That's weird, isn't it, Vice? I mean, who would build a house all the way out here? Fleur walked over and pounded on the door. After a minute of solid banging, the door cracked open and a small man peered out. His body was cloaked from neck to toe in a large black cape, while his face was obscured by mist. Began Fleur, but before he could get any further, the cloaked man held a hand up and began speaking. I have 4 legs in the morning, 2 at noon, but in the night with 3. In the night with 3. I have 4 legs in the morning, 2 at noon, but in the night... Oh, it's... I know what it is. A man. Mist dissolved from the cloaked figure as he spoke a single word. Correct. With that, the man flung his garment aside, revealing his true identity. You're the mayor! The small man slowly shook his head. I'm not the mayor you know. Now listen to my words. Long ago, I saw a version of you that was not yourself. Sorry, what does that mean? It will make sense in time. At present, I simply congratulate you on cracking the seal of the Death Dream. Aim was to go to the person at the forest entrance. With that, the man turned on his heel and slammed the door behind him. As Fleur watched mist seep up from the ground and enveloped the cottage, erasing it from existence. When Fleur and Vice returned to the forest entrance, they found the mayor leaning against a tree. As soon as he caught sight of the duo, he sprang to his feet and scrambled over. Good gravy, he cried. You made it. You actually made it back. His left hand grasped Fleur's and pumped itself fiercely, threatened to dislodge it from the socket, whilst he raised his Vice by the cover and swung him through the air. By the heavens, stop shaking me, fool. He had not even told you if we were successful or not. The mayor smiled broadly and shook his head. I'm just happy you're alive. I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Fleur withdrew himself from the mayor's eager handshake with a slight smile. We broke the Death Dream's seal, he said. At least I think we did. The mayor's face beamed as Fleur filled him in on the details. When the tale was done, the 3 of them laid down on the forest ground and fell asleep. Fleur cocked his head. Okay, hang on a second. He said, this is crazy. Why would we just lay down and go to sleep? Cease your endless prattling and go to sleep, fool. Fighting against the rules of this place is futility itself. Fleur and the mayor obediently reclined atop the grassy earth. Have you forgotten? Continued Vice. His words that control the Death Dream, words that allow us to move from place to place. By how natural they seem, the words are absolute. Therefore, if the words tell us to sleep, then sleep we shall. And once we do, the story will continue. With that, the trio found their eyes growing heavy, their breath slowing. This is the first time, began the mayor, the first time I felt tired since I was imprisoned here. His words were cut off by a loud, long yawn. Then he remembered nothing more. They might have slept for an hour or a year. When they awoke, things had a slightly more real quality to them. The mist felt thicker, the leaves greener. It was clear they had awakened from their dream. Fleur shook them, her shoulder gently. Good news, he said. I think we made it. Wow, said the mayor in an odd voice. We did it. I'm back. He blinked once and then again, as if not quite believing the sight before him. You two have no idea how much this means. The death dream is spreading through our village, and I wanted to... Well, I thought I could figure out how to stop it, but I guess that wasn't the case. I must have caught the disease and become trapped in my own dream. The mayor started to stand, then collapsed back to earth. He stared at his legs as if trying to remember how they worked, and then glanced at Fleur and shrugged. Without a word, the young man reached down and pulled the bear to his feet. Real life may take some getting used to, said the mayor, as a wry smile crossed his lips. You shall return in short order, I'm sure, said Vice. For now, you should return to your home and rest. No, said the mayor, swaying on unsteady feet. No, I can't. Some of the villagers are still trapped. I have to save them. The mayor slowly made his way to the divine tree in the centre of the village, then bowed his head and prayed silently. This is a holy tree, he explained. When the prayer was finished, it's the guardian of our village's history and memories. Superstition will only make our mission harder, muttered Vice. We should not put our faith in the gods. It's true. The mayor shook his head. Not the gods, the words. Legend says that our tree is home to a powerful magic known as the sealed verse. Could not contain their surprise. It seemed the gold had been found in the most unexpected of places. I say, muttered Vice, this is certainly a stroke of luck. As the three of them said their goodbyes, Fleur mentioned that the strange man who had given them the third riddle and the mysterious words he had left them with. I once saw a version of you that was not yourself, muttered the mayor. What in the world does that mean? Lost in thought, he stared into space for a long moment. You know, he said softly, this is going to sound odd, but I have a feeling I've seen you before too. Fleur tried to keep a straight face and failed, but the mayor didn't seem to notice. Deja vu, right? Anyway, I figure it's just some kind of illusion created by the death dream. Probably doesn't mean anything. Fleur gave the mayor a nod and smiled, but inwardly his thoughts were racing. There's something wrong about the mayor and his words. What exactly is going on here? That riddle proved to be the most difficult one of all.
Oh, thank you so much. Now I can finally return to a normal life.
This is one of the most bizarre diseases I have ever encountered.
I know. That's why we have to help the other villagers, no matter what.
For a sealed verse, that didn't...
Yes, all a touch too easy if you ask me. It's almost as if someone was guiding us to this village.
Don't overthink advice.
It's...
This person must be...
It would appear that way, yes.
Can't say I'm very excited to go back there. That dream world sort of creeps me out.
Perhaps you should spend less time complaining and more time getting on with the mission.
Yeah.
Yeah. I breathe air scented with death and resist the urge to laugh, for I know it will sound like the words of a madman. How long have I been in this fresh hell? My box, my prison, is tucked beneath a stairway in the long unused catacombs of some infinite castle. Outside I hear the sounds of funeral dirge that plays without end. Light has no place here. Wind has forgotten a friend. I pray for death to come, but he forsakes me. Time passes and eternity slips by in a single tick of the clock. Someone knocks on my prison. Anyone there, I hear an unfamiliar voice say. My saviour. I clawed the door of my jail, embedding thick splinters in my ragged nails. I scream for help. I laugh, I sob. Surely it's the product of my addled mind. Surely it cannot be true. Help me, I cry. For the love of all gods, help me. Impossibly, I hear the sound of a lock being torn out and falling to the floor. The door slowly creaks open. I have just enough time to see a silver-haired boy in a floating buck before the light pours inside. My eyes, accustomed to the blackness, explode with pain and I'm forced to turn away. Who are you, I ask, shaking hands, covering my face. How have you come to this place? I am Grimwell Vice. This is Fleur. We have long been searching for you. Now come, Stan. We shall wake him from this nightmare together. The unknown Fleur extends his hand and pulls me from the cell. Though my eyes are slow to adjust to freedom, my ears are keen as ever, and they recognize the staccato sounds of heavy rain. I never thought to hear that again, I whisper. Would that this were not such a terrible storm, said Grimwell Vice. Look at your feet! I force my eyes open to see water pulling around my ankles, lapping at my shins. There's so much of it. Yes, and more comes each moment we delay. If we do not make a good our escape, we shall all drown in this castle. We know you are weak, but you are our only hope to survive this place. Time, that long-forgotten friend, made itself known again. I nodded my head and swore to save my rescuers, no matter the cost. castle catacombs are a maze, twisting upon themselves like the endless entrails of a giant. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed north. At the end of the corridor, I find a row of 20 gorgeous canopy beds resting atop a carpet of velvet, all covered in a thick layer of dust and cobwebs. Searching for the door in the next room, I come upon a shapeless mass of grey matter being shoved against the side of the wall, and despite my fever, I can see the outlines of a door just beyond. When I reach out a finger and touch a piece of the mass, it turns into dust and drifts away on the wind. Realization slowly dawns and I fall to my knees and weep. Corpses. I face a mountain of charred and crumbling corpses. I look at it from the beds and back in, and the horror dawns upon full. Someone has piled these bodies into a tower and set them ablaze. Whether they were alive or dead, I do not know, and certainly will not permit to consider the proposition further. I make a sound, whether a scream or laughter I cannot be certain, and my mind grants me merciful blackness, and I find myself opening the door and leaving the most terrible of rooms. I squint down the corridors. Let's go east. Because if we go south, we go back where we came. Let's keep going north and east. Near the path, I find myself a great hole of only sounds of rain for comfort. The waterlogged red carpet squishes beneath my feet as I approach the centre of the room. Once there, I behold a beautiful dining table upon which rest china and silver of the finest construction, as well as the remains of a fantastic feast. As my eyes continue to adjust, I see many chairs surrounding the table, each holding a dinner guest. Noticing movement, I approach the table's head, but then the truth of the matter dawns on me. I recoil in horror. The host of the feast is a corpse, and they all know, as are all the invited guests. An army of foul, wriggling insects have made their homes in their remains, and this is the movement I saw. The once splendid feast was now nothing more than a requiem for the damned. I take a moment to steady my shaking hands, then slowly back away from the table. Desperate to lose sight of the abomination before me, I gaze my lens on the chairs upon which the dead were seated. This is a mistake, for the chairs proved to be even more terrible than the feast itself. Each one is covered in layers of spikes that run from the seat at the back and down the arms. That explains the colour of the carpet beneath my feet. I can only pray that the unfortunate diners were dead before the meal began. If not, it is a simple task to envision the agonised screams that must have sprung forth from their mouths. My mind grasps frantically at the possibility that these souls had committed some terrible crime for which there was punishment. But in truth, I suspect they had committed no crime at all. There would be no tomorrow for these unfortunates. This was their last supper. North. Against all hope, we make it to the front door. Break it down, someone cries, and I give myself to the effort. In tandem with flowing grimoire of ice, I slam my body against the thick, sturdy door. On the third try, it gives way, and we find ourselves sprawled on the ground outside the castle. The storm is in retreat. The clouds above are still dark and foreboding. To the west, I can see the thin shimmer.
Look for money! Who? Who do you think? The Libyans! Holy...
The Libyans! Howdy Gick and Gick's chat. We're at the text of the visual novel, the slightly black visual novel of Nier. So there's a lot of text, unfortunately. So you've come at the perfect time to hear me read pages upon pages of text. How was Kaizo? Was it good? And how is everyone from Geekman's chat? Hope you're all doing well this brilliant Thursday night. We get awesome music. I'll probably get VOD muted, but thankfully I'm recording this. Right, let's go back to reading. We all love reading. So where were we? There we go. We were at the storm is in retreat. So the storm is in retreat. The clouds above are still dark and foreboding, but to the west I can see a thin shimmer of sunlight trying to break through. Also, I love that Bloodspot tried to make that into an... use the emoji, the, like, colon to get it working. How can I thank you? I cry as tears join the rain on my cheeks. I would have surely died in there. Looking down, I suddenly noticed that my dress is in tatters and sheepishly tried to cover my exposed skin. Your dress, asked Vice. Then, you are a woman, madam. Madam. I am. I proffer the two a smile. I suppose that comes as something as a surprise, seeing as how I only exist in the form of words. I can see that the one known as Fleur is disappointed that the torn dress will be given no further description, but he hides it well with a nod and a shrug. The three of us step forth into our awakening. But behind us, an awakening of another kind is taking place. Black smoke fills the abandoned castle, providing countless damned souls inside with their final shroud. After a moment, the castle's windows shatter with a mighty roar. A fresh breeze blows through the hallways and corridors, clearing the smoke away for good. As we watch in awe, uncountable black shadows slowly flicker to life, crossing to and fro in front of the broken windows. The castle's dead have been awakened to their new life as shades. So I'm pretty sure we've got a
You have anything to say about that?
Hopefully there will be no labyrinth next time.
I hear that.
Right, so she's happy. There's just this one guy, and then we've got to talk to the tree, I'm pretty sure.
And another victim. This work certainly is trying.
This guy's very anime. Right, last dream.
I figured a book like you would be into all this word stuff, Vice.
Even I have my exceptions. Now let's be off.
A colony of massive sculptures was visible in the distance, their tall forms scraping against the sky. Vice and Fleur had never seen such a sight, and their eyes widened as they tried to take it in.
Those buildings must be huge if we can see them from this far away.
Don't need to read that?
What do you think, Vice?
As Vice considered his answer, the sun beat down on them with new ferocity. So this is actually... This feels like Drakengard 3-ish in the sand desert area.
Perhaps they are some manner of mirage.
Under this heat, a mirage or two would hardly be an expected sight. Fleur nodded and wiped the sweat off his brow, leaving a trail of sand in its place. He thought he'd never been so thirsty. The ancient road on which they walked was black and cracked with age. Here and there, a thin wisp of grass pushed up through the rocky surface, as if defying those who had laid this material down over their home. The heat reflecting from the road made Fleur light-headed. His feet hurting, he crouched down to rest. I don't know how much longer I can do this. Is someone playing a joke on us or what? The complaining had already begun. Vice tried not to let his eyes roll too much. A joke, he said. This road leads to the City of Art. Perhaps the path itself is simply some manner of grand artistic work. You don't sound very sure of yourself there. Perhaps not, but thinking of it in this way might make it easier for you to bear. Fleur glanced at Vice's grinning face, shook his head and resumed walking. As time passed, Fleur's feet grew more painful and his throat drier than he thought possible. He tried not to look further than the next step ahead because the bright sunlight made him hesitant to trust his own senses. We are definitely getting close, said Vice in an effort to cheer his companion. Yes, that much is certain. Encouraged, Fleur lifted his gaze. Suddenly he stopped walking, choosing instead to stand in the middle of the road with his mouth and eyes wide open, his finger pointing in the distance. Water, he cried. It's water! Ah, no worries. You have fun walking the doggos, Geekman. And thanks again for the host and the raid. Water, asked Vice. Preposterous, I didn't see any water. Over there, just ahead of us, look, the sun is reflecting off of it. Without waiting for a response, Fleur sprang to life and bounded towards the site. What's in there? There was no water, there was nothing but sand in every direction. Fleur closed his eyes and sighed as Vice floated up behind him and chuckled softly. I believe this is known as a mirage, he said. Many a desert traveller has spoken of such things. Fleur shook his head bewildered, suddenly pointed off in the distance, his eyes once more. There it is, I just missed it, look, it's right there. Fleur splintered off again, leaving Vice with no choice but to follow. A few minutes running, Fleur came to a halt. I could have sworn it was right around here. Confused, he put his hands up to his eyes and rubbed them vigorously. As soon as he stopped, he noticed a blue shimmering pool of clear water just over the next rise. With a shout, he bounded off in search of it. The chase continued for nearly an hour until an exasperated Vice finally floated up to Fleur and struck him in the face with his cover. Enough, you blithering idiot. Stop this at once. There is no water here. Fleur's face clouded. There isn't? There is not, and perhaps next time you'll listen to me when I tell you as such. Vice paused for a moment, then continued speaking in a slightly kind of tone. However, I suppose this mad chase was not altogether wasted. Seems we have arrived in the City of Art. Basically, just keep running. Fleur looked up. Stretched out before him was a row of impossibly tall sculptures. Their journey was at an end. They're huge, cried Fleur, completely forgetting the heat and pain of the past few hours. I've never seen anything so big. Each sculpture is formed roughly of the same shape, a tall rectangle that stretched up towards the sky, but that is where the similarities ended. Most were covered with panes of glass that reflected light in 1,000 directions, whilst others seemed to be nothing more than frames of steel. Some had tall spires on the tops, while others possessed triangular caps. What kind of city is this, said Fleur? Where are the people? Where are the houses? Perhaps the land is intended exclusively for artistic use. The debate continued as they made their way through the city. Miracles of artistry were everywhere. Great iron crates with wheels sat silent on steel rails, beautifully carved works with lights of red, amber and green dangled over every street. As they moved away from the massive sculptures, they found a great array of smaller ones. Some were covered in glass or brick, but many were composed of materials they had never before encountered. The sheer variety of colours and styles was staggering. Unable to find a theme or purpose for the abstract works around them, Fleur and Vice eventually fell silent. On the outskirts of the city, they discovered 3 sculptures in the shape of humans. Fleur uttered a sigh of relief as he approached them. Finally, I was getting tired of modern art. You and me both. The 3 statues were indistinguishable except for a single word chiseled into their right arms. One read Alpha, one read Beta, and the final one read Gamma. As Fleur moved to touch the nearest statue, a bird flew from the top of the sculptures. Alighting on the statue's shoulder, it emitted a brief, beautiful song that took the form of words. Only one form is real, the others are false. The real form will always speak the truth. The false ones will only speak lies. I hate this. With that bird departed, as if on cue, the 3 statues shuddered life, all acquiring colour and form as they began to breathe. Hey, look at that, said Fleur. They're alive! The triplets bowed low before Fleur. Please, said Alpha, you have to get me out of this nightmare. I am real. Stop lying, said Beta, returned to Fleur and threw his hands there. Alpha's a fake, you know I'm the real one. What a load of crap, said Gamma. Beta is a fake. Everyone knows I'm the only real one around here. The respective pleas given, the 3 statues returned to the frozen state of silence once enveloped the city. Also, only one could be the real thing. False. Well, real form will always speak the truth. False one will always speak lies. If he's telling the truth, so if the first one's telling the truth, then he's obviously correct. But if B is saying A is false, but C is saying B is saying something false. So if B, it's going to be B. Number comes releasing. Yep. Apart from telling the truth, Dragon's Beta and Gamma would be fakes, but in that case, Gamma's claim that Beta is fake wouldn't be true. Even though Gamma is a liar, therefore the theory crumbles. Yeah, there we go. Big brain moment. Given that Gamma spoke the truth, that makes Alpha and Beta liars. In this situation, Beta is calling Alpha a liar, which would leave us with 2 statues telling the truth. In addition, that Beta is telling the truth. If so, Alpha and Gamma's lies would make sense, therefore Beta must be real. As the Vice finished his explanation, Alpha and Gamma crumbled soundlessly into dust, while Beta sprang to life once more. Congratulations, villager, said Vice in a cheerful voice. Time to awaken has arrived. Thank you for saving me, cried the villager. He dropped to his knees and bowed his head as low as it would go before an uncomfortable flow pulled him to his feet. Why did you have a dream like this? Asked Vice. Have you been to this city before? Still, the villager slowly looked around with bizarre objects of sculpture that dotted the landscape and then shook his head. I don't think so. I mean, it's impossible, right? There's no way I could have ever been to a place like this, but at the same time I feel like I've seen it before. Deja vu, just like the mare. The vague sense of unease that shook Fleur during the mare's dream spread once more.
That was right.
I am positive I have seen that place before.
Okay, that's enough. Don't need you getting all weird on me too.
Ha.
Okay, there. Now all the villagers can wake up, right?
Yes, if the mayor's assumption was correct. I think I have had enough wordplay to last a lifetime. Thank you very much.
You're telling me. Anyway, let's go see the mayor.
So we have to come back here, I'm almost 100% sure, for another puzzle later on.
Oh, how wonderful. Thank you so much. Here, I have something for you.
Faith.
Wow, this looks valuable. I can really have it?
Of course. It's apparently a weapon of some renown, but we have little use for it.
Well, we appreciate it.
Thank you again for everything.
So how was the village?
Oh, it was truly magnificent. There are no words. Really.
Neat.
Let's get back to Popola. She'll probably want to know what's going on in there.
Right, we're just going to sit on this boar for a few minutes. I'm going to just disappear. Because we're going to get the achievement for riding a boar for 5 minutes. So I'm just going to go make a cup of tea. You guys get to listen to the soundtrack for a bit longer. I'll be right back. might have been a good idea to like check the clock when I left. So I know what time was. So we haven't got it just yet. Oh no, the top trophy earned. Most recent trophy. Right, let's have a look. Yeah, obtain 1 million pieces of gold. Book burner, educated warrior. Bought by date earned. Here we go. Right. Hero Hunter. Book of Legend. Realize she earned that many quests. Very annoyingly. Also, Kaine joining our party is a black screen. Material 50 types. Yeah, okay. So we need to do this about 5. Oh, rip. Well, there goes the 5-minute chance. In fact, we'll do this. Plenty of time to do it in part 2. Let's go speak to Popola. In fact, we need to check the weapons that we need as well, actually. Because there are some weapons that we can only get in this side. Forgot about this. Right. So we need to do... which weapons is it? Right, in part 1 we have Nameless Blade, Lily Leaf, Nirvana. We've equipped the Beast Bane. Moonrise, Rebirth, Faith. Just contract, okay. We're just missing one. You know there's a weapon in the... there's a weapon in the manor that we're going to be going to. Which we need to pick up. Yeah, we're good. We've got everything, I'm pretty sure. We could probably do upgrading stuff, but I'm pretty sure we can still upgrade stuff once we're done in the next area. So that is fine. Right. Okay, that's an interesting way of doing that. Okay, so there's no need to... there shouldn't be anything that we need to worry about now. We should have all of the quests done, 50%. There's a new quest in the second part that I'm aware of. You can probably go and upgrade stuff, but that's fine. It should be okay. Let's go check our letterbox first before we... So admittedly, I might not actually start part 2... Is that still... oh my god. Already watered enough, okay. Screw you, I want my watermelon. Watermelon! Bum, 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 bum. So she's going to send us to the...
The death dream certainly is a strange illness.
Yeah, it was something all right.
Even I, with my natural love for words, have no desire to visit that place ever again.
You guys did well. You've been making a lot of long trips lately. Are you sure you're not pushing yourself too hard?
I'm okay. I can't just sit around all day while Yona's sick, after all.
If you say so.
So, anything I can do for you?
Well, I suppose there is one thing I could use a hand with. The work probably won't happen for a while, but once it's done, we can use the canal for trade and travel and all kinds of useful things. Unfortunately, however, we're a bit behind schedule at the moment. If you're willing to help out, I'd really appreciate it.
No problem. What do you need?
Great. So, the man I originally asked to help on this project hasn't shown up for work in a few days. I'm starting to get a little worried, so maybe you can head over to Seafront and check up on him? I'll mark the location of his house on your map. He always carries a red bag over his shoulder, so he should be easy enough to
Pretty
find.
sure this is the guy at the top
Got
end
it.
of it. Right, off to Seafront we go.
A canal, is it? Fascinating. If we had a ferry, we could put these days of endlessly running about behind us.
Don't you just float everywhere anyway?
Do you think I am borne aloft by the winds, lad? It takes stamina to maintain this height.
Oh, really?
Fresh chickens. Oh, of course. Get killed. Let's go. So, we need to go find the guy with the red bag. Where is he? There he is.
Hey, are you the guy who's
Oh god, it's over. My life is over.
Surely you must realize nothing good can come of being involved with this particular endeavor.
Easy, Vice. Hey, so, are you alright?
It's my wife. I'm so worried I can't even focus on my work.
Wow, that's terrible.
Really?
Sure. But do you have any idea where we... Alright, then.
Thank you. This means the world to me. Oh, and by the way, my wife always carries a red bag, just like mine. If you mention that, it might ring some bells.
I've met some odd couples in my day, but none who felt the need to wander about flaunting matching luggage.
You need to get with the times. Coordinated outfits are all the rage. Plus, these bags are special. We bought them for our anniversary. But now my sweet dumpling is gone. And it's all my fault. Oh, God.
Okay. Just stay calm. We'll go look for her, alright? You sit tight.
I'm willing to bet that man knows more about his wife absconding than he's letting on.
Hey there, I'm, looking for a woman carrying a red bag.
Are you now? Interesting. Did something happen to her?
She hasn't been home and her husband's worried. Do you know anything about where she might be?
Trouble in paradise, is it? Oh, those two never change. Anyway, the short answer is no. She hasn't been around here either. Though come to think of it, she always got on well with the woman over at the tackle shop. Maybe you should try her?
I'll do that. Thanks.
Hey, what's the rush? You've got a cute face. Why not sit here and join me for a round? Or 3?
Sorry, ma'am, but I'm not old enough to drink.
Haha. Go to the tackle shop. Appear. Oh, she's got a red bag.
Hey there, do you know a woman with a red bag by any chance?
A red bag? Oh, sure. Although now that I think about it, I haven't seen her in a while. Last time she came around, she mentioned something about leaving town, but I figured it was just idle talk.
Leaving town, huh? Alright, thanks for your time.
Well, time to leave
If she has
town.
truly left this charming hamlet, finding her may prove most difficult indeed.
I just hope she hasn't been attacked by shades or anything.
Wait. We actually got a better weapon now, actually. No. No. Magic power plus 20%. Attack power item drop rate. Let's go back with this for a bit. Screw it.
Something about that shade seems rather odd.
Gonna have a red bag.
Hey,
It is identical to the red satchel carried by the man who sent us on this mad quest. Perhaps it belongs to his...
oh no.
I fear it likely, lad. I sense no other activity in the immediate vicinity. We were too late.
Oh, this is terrible. What are we supposed to say?
However difficult it may be, we've no choice but to tell the man the truth.
Leave you to sleep, Mr. Boar.
Hey, did you find my sweet dumpling?
We didn't, but we got this off a shade.
Oh no. This is hers.
So our fears were correct.
Oh God. How could this happen to her? And this is all my fault.
If I may, my good man, why did your wife leave home in the first place?
It's because I...
I think we should give him some time to himself, Vice.
Honey, I'm home. Good heavens, you're a wreck. What's wrong?
Dumpling, you're not dead.
What in the world are you talking about?
Oh, you found my bag. Thank you so much. I can't believe I went and dropped it like that.
Oh, this is such a relief.
Okay, seriously. What's going on? I see. So, you found a shade with my bag and assumed I'd been attacked and killed?
I'm just glad you're safe, Dumpling, but I'm also so sorry. This is all my fault. Oh, if I didn't eat that apple you were saving. Oh, God, I'm such an idiot! Listen, I promise I'll never eat anything of yours again. You just promise never to run away from home again, okay?
Run away? Have you lost your mind? I just went to visit my parents.
Huh?
I told you about this. Going to see my family, gone for a week. Remember? Ugh, are you serious right now? Why don't you ever listen to me?
Lad, my brilliant intuition suggests we should beat a hasty retreat from these two with all speed.
I can't believe you didn't listen to me, and you ate my apple. Ugh, you are the absolute worst.
What? Oh, like you're some perfect angel. You didn't even care enough about our anniversary to hang on to your bag. You, kid, I'm right about this, yeah?
Oh, no.
If anyone's wrong here, it's my wife, right?
Wait, you're asking me? Well, you shouldn't have eaten your wife's apple. That's not very nice.
But I was hungry, and it was just sitting there. Look, I'm glad you went looking for my wife and all, but that was low, friend. Low.
Did I?
Besides, it's pretty rich to come after me for an apple when you threw away my entire stamp collection.
Ha! You're damn right I did, and I'd do it again. You are nothing but a hoarding slob. You there! My husband's in the wrong here, isn't he?
Oh, enough. The both of you are at fault. Now apologize to one another and end this ridiculous display.
Big talk for a floating magazine.
I see you finally agree on something.
Do you not even understand how frustrating this is, you colossal oaf? This is exactly what I hate about you.
Fine, hate me. I'll still sleep like a baby knowing I'm not an unreasonable hag like you.
Vice, what do I do?
You turn on your heel and walk away as fast as your legs can carry you, my good lad.
That's it. I have had enough. Instead of belittling me, why don't you get a proper job? Everyone in the neighborhood treats me like dirt, and it's all because of my unemployed slob of a husband.
Actually, I have a job now.
Wait, you what? You're kidding. Why didn't you tell me? That's great.
Well, I sort of wanted it to be a surprise.
Oh, you big silly Billy. Well, this calls for a celebration. Come on, I'm going to bake you a nice apple pie.
Hey, we are the fixer of relationships.
I have no idea what just transpired, but it has utterly exhausted me.
Well, looks like they made up, so all's well that ends well?
In the course of all that madness, I have forgotten why we even came here in the first place.
Oh, heck, the canal! We need to ask him about the canal.
I can't thank...
Sure, but
All right! Well, now that my love life is rolling in clover again, I'd be more than happy to get going on the canal work.
Brilliant.
Heavens, that was exhausting.
Tell me
So,
about it.
we're almost at the
Anyway,
end of
let's go give
part
Pope an
1, but
update.
we're not going to progress to it because it's probably going to be over an hour, and I don't want to be playing past 12.
The couple with the red bags were a strange pair indeed. It boggles the mind to think their relationship can persist
God
despite
damn it.
such intense squabbling.
Well, they looked pretty happy in the
Yeah.
end, at least. Maybe the secret to living a happy life is
Yeah,
sharing
yeah.
your feelings, even when they're sort of mean and weird.
You headbang
If
me,
you
you
adopt
get
such a
killed.
strategy, I may leave for groceries one day and never return.
So we need to go speak to Poplar, and then what we'll do is we'll save, and then that will be it today. And we should finish part 1 on Monday. Dun, 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 dun. I wish... You know, I don't like it when it says that you can't have them. I wish it'd tell you what it was, so you could at least, like, go sell one. It consumes it as well, which is annoying. Bum, 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 bum.
Goodness. It sounds like the canal repairman had quite the problem on his hands. I'm glad everything turned out all right. Thank you so much for your help.
Don't mention it. I'm looking forward to seeing how the canal turns out. If you need anything else from us, just say the word.
Right, so that is her
Hey,
happy.
wait!
Huh?
I almost forgot. Yona is looking for you.
Oh?
She said she needed something from you. Time to go play Big Brother for a bit, huh?
I guess so.
I wish the loading was a bit more, or a bit quicker. Right, let's go save and then we'll call it there. Okay, we've got the inventory limit as well.